It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Welcome, everyone, to the Mayor's Report. I'm here in Hazleton Mayor's office, Jeff Cusat. You know, we have daily, monthly reports. We have the Schuylkill Report, giving you what's happening in Schuylkill County. We have the Luzerne County Report. We have the LCC report, and we have the Hazleton Area School District Report, and, of course, the Hazleton Mayor's Report. A lot to discuss. You know, in the as we're seeing today in the country, what's happening, a lot of changes are happening, and a lot of people are looking at the accountability, transparency, and a lot of waste, as we see in our federal government. It's in the news every day. There's no secret about it. And so a lot of people are concerned about transparency and about, you know, where really is their money going. Before we get into the, you know, report on the DOJ and what happened here, you know, how do you, you know, how transparent is the city of Hazleton, and where does accountability come in with your departments? Because we're seeing a lot of millions of dollars that have been wasted in the government so far.
The difference between the local government and the federal government is we run a zero-based budget. So all year long, summer long, you know, we plan on our future, which is coming up next year. So by October, we have next year's plan in place. And then November, according to the law, November, we present that budget to council. We'll go through that budget and explain where all the money is going to be spent, and you know, everything is discussed, you know, and publicly move forward. So there's really not a lot of money that's comes in that is not accounted for, you know, almost a prior year.
Well, there's not that many people. People have to trust who they vote for, okay, and that's the biggest thing. But if someone was concerned about, you know, looking at financial records, or how transparency is the city of Hazleton open that? If I wanted to come and say, I'd like to take a look at this budget, I would like to see the line item of budgets, where you're spending different kind of monies, is that available to me?
It is, yeah, through the right to know. No law allows all of that stuff to be
okay.
You know, shared.
So there's no hidden things going on. People know what's going on, okay?
No, it depends on how much people pay attention. If you come to the council meetings every other week, you know, 2 times a month during the year, you know, it's discussed. You know, so we do talk about what we're doing, upcoming plans, what has been going on. You know, most of the city's money is spent on, you know, salaries. They're fixed costs. You know,
which is a bigger majority of it.
Yeah, so most of it it's fixed cost. There's really not a lot of lucrative spending.
We talked about many times about your departments. Okay, because you know you meet regularly with your departments to find out what's going on and the direction that council or the mayor wants us to go in the city. How accountable are each individual departments?
Well, they have to be held accountable to their budget. You know, so it's everything kind of runs in order. You know, the only thing that varies is the price of stuff. You know, the last couple of years, you know, the price of, you know, tires has gone up, gasoline has gone up. You know, stuff like that is where the fluctuation occurs, and you know, so one item may be more skewed than others. But having a fixed, balanced budget to operate off of, you know, it kind of puts it up. You know, like the salaries are all set prior to the year. The health insurance is set. Like, so most of our expenses are set going into the year, and that's where most of the money is spent.
Okay, so let's look at the last show we did. We had the DOJ came in and sort of told you, you know, what the city should be doing, okay, in terms of getting people elected on the council, et cetera, et cetera. What's the update on that?
Well, you know, I have not spoken to the Department of Justice since they filed the lawsuit. You know, they have been in contact with our lawyers, you know, so any communication we'll handle through those aspects. I know they were in town doing interviews with people. People have contacted me, said, you know, they were contacted by the Department of Justice for an interview. You know, I'm not sure what they're looking for, but you know, I really don't agree with what the Department of Justice is trying to install here in the city of Hazleton.
Do you see any change since there's a new administration in Washington?
No, I've not been contacted by anybody from the federal government, and I did reach out to the congressmen, our senators' offices, and waiting for a reply from them. But hopefully, we can get this straightened out. The election process begins today being February 18th. So petitions start today. So by state law, the 2025 elections actually start today. So it's going to be pretty hard to come in and interfere with what is going on in this year's election.
So once again, anyone could run for office, all right? And so there's no restrictions here other than being a legal citizen.
You have to be a citizen over 18, and I believe some criminal aspects take.
Has ICE been in?
ICE has been in the city. They come, they go. Most of the time they do not contact you, but that's the same as any other federal or state agency. Department of Justice is here, DEA is here, the FBI is here. The IRS comes in and does work. So they come in, they do their job, and they go. So a lot of times we don't know until after the fact that they're gone, and a lot of times it's just that quick in and out. So yes.
Are you aware of any deportations in the city since they came in?
From the city, no, I'm not sure anybody was deported. I believe there was some people that were questioned and picked up for questioning. We have had 2 individuals reach out to our police department and ask to be deported. They came here illegally. It's not what they expected, and they would like to go back home, and they were asking how to get there. So, our department was in touch with the agencies to try to accommodate them to go back. So I don't know if they were deported or if they left.
You're hearing across the country that there are certain cities that are fighting the ICE and federal government coming in. What's your stance on them coming in, doing what they have to do?
Well, first, I think anybody that resists the federal government is wrong. Every city, municipality wants assistance from the federal government. Whether you want DEA to come in and help with the drug problems, you want ATF to come in and help with firearms. So if you want help in them aspects, you should have to help or want to help ICE come in. You can't pick and choose which federal agencies you want to help. You shouldn't put harm in any law enforcement officer in harm's way by helping people that are here illegally for any aspect. If it's a criminal, if it's a citizen that's a criminal, if it's an illegal that's a criminal. Anytime you have a criminal in the city, we should do anything we can to get rid of that person.
And how is it the police department and crime in the city been going here?
It seems very quiet to me,
Which is a good thing.
During our review of the city, a year in review, which happened last month, call volume was down by 10,000 last year.
Oh my gosh!
We up in the 30 range. I believe this was 22,000 calls last year.
What do you attribute that to, Jeff?
A good police department, being tough on crime. The flock camera system, I really think, pushed a lot of people out of here. Once people know that you come into the city, we know you're here as soon as you cross past one of those cameras. So I just think people know that the city's serious about being safe.
Mm-hmm. All right, now there's a government study coming. Let's talk about the government study.
Well, we don't know it's coming yet. We did pass an ordinance to put a referendum question on the ballot.
And what is that referendum?
Well, the referendum means we're putting a question on the ballot to give it to the people to make a decision whether you want to change or not. There's several items that need the vote of the people to be passed into law, not left up to the legislative branch. So this is one of those items if we want to make a change to our form of government. So it is going to be a question on the ballot whether we want to create government study commission to look at our form of government, which is the third-class city optional Plan B. If the people of the city vote yes on the question, they will also vote on members to fill the committee seats. So if you want to study, make sure this is the best form of government to move the city forward, you vote yes.
Well, what are the options? When you say best form, what would be when you say change the government? What are you referring to?
Well, I believe last time we did this it was voted on back in 1985. The study was passed, the commission came out, and then our new form of government went into place in 1988. Before we had a council mayor form of government where it was a part-time mayor and he had to vote on city council. That was changed to a strong mayor form of government, with city council being the legislative branch, the mayor overseeing the city in the executive role. So that was the change that took place back then. So I believe the study came out. There was 5 additional questions that were responded to. One I believe was the elected position of controller, the optional Plan B government, which creates the position of a mandatory business administrator being part of the city. So there's just different forms. So we're in the optional Plan B law right now, and we have limitations on our revenue sources. We're only allowed to utilize taxation rates up to a certain point, so that all of our additional money must come in through property tax. So I would like to evaluate going to a home rule, which gives you the same options that were available to us during the Act 47 process, to utilize forever. It doesn't make sense that these options that were available helped us go from being in financial distress to making us vibrant again. But then once we leave, they take those tools away from us. Mm-hmm. So I would like to do the study. If the commission comes back with a determination that we should be a home rule, mm-hmm. all those options come back to us again.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be called a home rule in that way that we can create our own charter, run the city the way we want to, and to have those revenue tools available for us.
Okay. Let's look at currently we had some storms coming in, which, not pleasant ones. Where were we at that when the storms came in?
I think we did very well. It's tough. It's a big city. We have 114 miles of road to maintain. I think we have 16 guys to maintain them. These small storms that don't snow, where it drops us with ice in that freezing rain, are actually harder to maintain than an actual snowstorm. Snow, you kind of move out of the way and it's good. These snowstorms, like the one we had this weekend, we put down 360 tons of rock salt. So far this year we went through 2,200 tons of rock salt, plus 1,500 tons of anti-skid. Some areas of the city we do a mix. So it's gives you traction also, not just melt.
I must say the city has done a great job, really, considering the forces that Mother Nature gave you. They did a great job. Hats off to the highway crew, believe me.
They do a great job. Yeah. And it all starts with vehicles properly being parked. So you'll get a lot of complaints about, my street wasn't plowed sidewalk to side, or center lane to sidewalk. Why do I have to move? Well, if one vehicle is blocking that way, that parking space, and when you're coming down the street, you have to go around it. That takes up about 60 to 70 feet of area that is left untreated. So then when that vehicle moves and that freezes back in there, there's no way of getting that ice up. You could throw all the salt on the world on it, it's not going to move it. Once it becomes thick, so it's imperative that people park correctly so we can come in, do our job, and get you back to normal.
All right, friends, I'm talking to Mayor Jeff Cusat. This is the monthly Mayor's Report, giving you information what's going on. Yes, I have some emails that you had sent in, and one of the shows we'll do is we'll answer all the questions that you have. We come back, we talk about some fun things. The Junior Leadership Program was in, and they had a great tour. We'll talk about that and some other interesting things. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm Sam Lesante. We're here at the Mayor's office in Hazleton. This is the Hazleton Mayor's Report, which we do every month, keeping you informed. Now, my friends, if you have any questions or comments you'd like to make, we do have a number of them, and one of the shows will address all those questions. Please email them to me, sam@ssptv.com, and we'll be more than happy to bring them to Mayor Cusat. We're in his office, so once again, it's always nice to be here. How's our little girl doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. She's almost 8 months now.
They grow fast, don't they?
Yes, she is.
Junior Leadership was here. Tell me about the exciting day they had.
Well, every year Junior Leadership comes and they spend the day here in City Hall. And, we sit down and talk to the department heads and, fill them in on what we do on a daily basis and what our main jobs are. So last year I actually requested that we take the full day and really see what the city has to offer, what we do. So this year, we went up to we started the day up at the new public transit maintenance facility, gave a little overview of the day, talked to the transit workers, took a tour of the bus facility. So hopped on the bus and took a ride over to the airport. Went up the runway, came down. There was a new Falcon 500 parked there. So the kids wanted to get out and take a picture with it. It's a $40 million plane. A lot of the kids didn't know we had a transit system or an airport.
Yes.
So it was nice to be able to explain
that's great.
That, because we are the only municipality in Pennsylvania that owns and operates both airport and transit facility. Hopped back on the bus, stopped at the fire station, Fire South, met with Chief Leschko and a couple of the firefighters, and showed them some of the equipment, some of the apparatus that we have, talked about volunteer firefighters and EMTs and what the needs for both of them are throughout the country, how very important it is. So we spent some time there. Then we came back here to City Hall, gave them a tour of City Hall. They met with some of the department heads. I talked to the children for a little while, hopped back on the bus, went down to the police station, took a little tour of the police station, saw some of our equipment, our Bearcat. They got a demonstration with one of the canines. So it was a fun day, and then we took them back up to the transit facility and just showed them just about everything the city has to offer. There's still some things I'd like to show them, but you can only squeeze so much into a 6-hour day.
Very impressive. Very quickly, we have Easter coming up. What do we have going on for the kids?
So we are going to be running our Easter Bunny Trail again this year, and last year I believe there was 800 and some children that came through.
Nice, yeah.
So if anybody would like to set up a booth, an area, and meet with children, hand out some candy, talk about your business or your charity, or anything you want to do. If you want to just have a good time with a lot of kids, there's opportunities available at no cost to anybody that wants to do that.
And we'll talk a lot more what's happening in May. I know we have Rockin' Mountain coming up, and we have 4 dates this year, right?
We do have 4 dates for the Rockin' the Mountain. If anybody wants to be a sponsor or would like to be involved with that, please contact our recreation department. You can get a lot more information on all the events in the city by going to, I believe, HazletonForTheHolidays.com or HazletonRocks.com, and those websites will take you to all the events that are going on in the city.
Now, we have about a minute left. In the city of Hazleton, there's always things going on. Give us a little tease. I think you're working with some people on some interesting projects, right?
We are. We are working on some projects to bring us further into the future and catch up on some of the green energy that's going on. So we will talk about that probably at our next show. More detail. Hopefully, there's some renderings. We're also working on some new ideas for some of the other parks and playgrounds that have not been completed. So a couple more expansions going on at some of our parks and playgrounds that I think people are going to be pretty excited about.
Well, as always, there's a lot of interesting, great things happening in the city of Hazleton. And we remember, friends, whatever happens in the city of Hazleton affects the entire area. I missed one report, and he just mentioned it to me, and we'll probably talk about it. That's the Visit Luzerne County report with Alan Stout and, Sarah. We do a great opportunity there. But once again, my friends, if you have any questions, any comments of what's going on, for those of you in Schuylkill County who have been asking about the mayor's report in Schuylkill County, I have not been notified yet or asked. I did reach out when the new mayor left, when Mayor Cruz was there. We were there every month, but they have not reached out to me yet, and I'm waiting for them to reach out. So I did approach the current mayor and just waiting for him or their team to reply. Once again, it's sam at ssptv.com. Any questions or comments? We'll see you next time.